We're gonna cut a piece of foam board that goes down the curved edge of the bus. A little bit more creativity, I guess, has to go into these, but it's really not that difficult. We don't have it down to a science, it's not perfect, but what we're doing is working for us. So we're gonna show you how to do it real quick. A couple of these are a little different because I added a 45-degree support, so I have to make an extra cut out of the top corner, which is not the same on all of them, but we simply make a score, bend it, break it, cut the back. So we got that out. And a lot of people try to get really perfect with all this stuff. I personally do not, because in reality it doesn't have to be perfect. It's got to fit in there pretty good so that we get the full R value. And then we're going to be putting spray foam around it, the Great Stuff can spray foam. It won't take much to make it a nice tight seal. We're going to start from the inside edge, which is the flat edge up here. And all I'm going to do is measure 4 inches from the edge. That's with my 6-foot level. Wonderful 6-foot level. And once I get that lined up, oh, caught myself. Almost made a mistake. We want to score the other side of this. So we're putting foil out. So foil out because we want foil, which is technically a radiant barrier, to be facing up, so any radiant heat that comes in from any air gaps will actually reflect off of that. So when we cut this, we want to score along the foil side because that's the part that's going to be actually snapped, I guess you can say, so that it conforms to the curvature of the roof. So we're going to measure 4 inches from the edge with our 6-foot level. Nice and easy. Just kind of go back and forth to make sure it's going to be somewhat of a straight cut all the way across. I chose the factory edge to be the inside edge so that I have a very straight edge to work off of. So 4 inches from the edge, and then of course if we add the 2.5 inches wide, so we're technically about 6.5 inches that we're going to be scoring down. And then I'm not going to press the blade perfectly against the level itself. I'm going to just press the body of the blade against it. So hold the level down and just drag it all the way across. Easy enough. Then line up your level with that cut. Score all the way down. I'm not pressing really far in. I'm really only going maybe 1/4 to 1/2 inch depth on the blade, because not all of these are going to be completely snapped. So you actually probably don't even need to score it this many times, but like I said, you could spend a ton of time trying to be perfect and never get there. So we're moving right along, and we're still going to get the same amount of comfort out of this insulation that you would if you spent twice as long trying to make it perfect. So we score it all the way down, and last one. So we've scored it all the way down there. So now we're going to put our adhesive on there. Now previously we used the PL Proline Premium polyurethane insulation, and it worked really well. I wasn't really sure how it would work. It says that it's okay for foam board. The foam board that we have up there is really adhered. It's cured for a week now, so really happy with that. It's making me think that I want to go back and get some more, because today we went to Home Depot and we got a heavy duty construction adhesive. And this is okay for foam board too. It's cheaper, which is why we got it. It's actually quite a bit cheaper, Not as happy with it, but we'll see how it actually adheres in the long run. So we're just going to take the heavy-duty construction glue that we bought, and we put a nice thick bead around the edge. This also does not have to be perfect. It's nice and thick because we want it to be able to overcome any little bumps. I'm just going to squirt some out over the board. What I mean when I say overcome little bumps, if you have little undulations in the metal, like anything that's already on the metal, which ours isn't perfectly clean, and you put a little thin bead, it might not be able to actually reach the surface and adhere to it. So having a nice thick clump means that even if we have some little undulations, we should be able to reach the surface we're trying to adhere to and form that kind of a bridge, I guess you could say. So now we have some nice thick clumps of construction glue. So we're ready to go ahead and try to push this up. And so now we just cross our fingers and hope that it fits the first time as we measured everything. So you kind of fit it in the bottom first, and line up your edge, then you take it. Because we already scored the other side, we can snap the other side, and then you try to push it down in there. So the scary part is not wanting to break this, because we're gonna try to force it down in there. So we got the edges lined up, and then you just force it on in. There's a little notch in the metal there, so. Force it around on all the edges so that it's flush. And then we've still got kind of a, I guess you can call it, I don't know, vector, or you've got a, you're not quite flush all the way around the edge, but remember we scored it, so it doesn't take much to kind of get that little bit of extra bend out of it. So you just push it up in there. And because we scored it along the whole edge, it's pretty easy to actually get it to conform. So looked pretty good, happy with the way it fits. And that's a good piece of insulation. We're going to fill the corners with great stuff. Corner up here, we'll make sure there's no gaps and fill it all up. We might even fill up some of the edges we scored, because obviously we had a flat panel. We scored the edge, so we got a little bit of a break, so there's an air gap in there. We might even put some foam back there. We'll see. But the great stuff, easy to work with. So from here, we got the majority of the surface area covered, and we can get all the little bits with the great stuff, and we'll be good to go. So that's how we're doing the edges here. And these pieces are pretty straightforward. They're just squares that we're popping in place. So not much more to it.